Good morning. Welcome to Bazaar. I'm Lata and with me Anuj and Sonia. Deeply bearish for Brent party time in India. It's an unalloyed happiness, you'll have to say, because whether it's the economy or whether it's the fisc or whether it's India Inc., it makes a material difference if crude is at 66 or whether crude is at 86. It's worse than a bear terrain for crude. Now, it's all happened in 6 weeks, so it can always bounce, but it's party time for now. Eventually, maybe you will have growth concerns and you will have valuation concerns, and maybe even crude will not last at 65. But for the moment, I think bulls are in for a party.
Okay, for the moment, bulls are in for a party, but crude has been coming off for a while, right? I mean,
6 weeks.
It's down 25% from its October highs of what, $86 a barrel. So, and if you look at it, a lot of it is also perhaps in the price in terms of individual stocks. I mean, a Jet Airways, for example, is up 15% this month. So I guess a lot of that has played out. But Anuj, morning. Yesterday you had indicated that if you would buy the dip, you would get rewarded, and that's exactly what played out. What's the sense you're getting about today? I mean, this crude news is known. People have sort of made money on it. But what's the next step now?
Morning, Sonia. Market is a great leveler, so things, of course, don't move daily. But I'll tell you one thing. For me, it all boils down to risk reward. I think yesterday was a no-brainer, and yesterday was one of those days where in the morning you should have just bought. Simple. And, that was the kind of setup that you had yesterday. The market really rewarded those who bought yesterday's dip. Because, look, what was the trade yesterday? On the dip, you buy and put the morning low as stop loss, and the market will take care of you because consensus short never works. And that's how it played out yesterday. It's a good time to book profit today if the market opens with a gap. As simple as that. I think the market's likely to face some resistance at 10,645. Now, it does not mean that it's going to stop here, and there's a good chance that perhaps you'll have a rally. But if you're a trader who got in, say, yesterday morning, or if you're a trader who got in, say, 4 or 5 days back, who has seen a 300, 400 point rally, this morning, if everyone's going to be bullish, I think it might be a good time to just take some longs home. Perhaps book some profit, because the risk reward does not favor a fresh long at 10,645 for two reasons. That's the recent high, and also that's because it's within 100 points of the 200-day moving average. So for me, it's not giving you a very good risk reward opportunity. The market's texture is to buy the dips. For whatever reason the dips come, whether it's democracy in danger, whether it's anything else, those reasons come. That time you have to buy the dips, and the market rewards. If you chase momentum, then there's going to be a bit of a problem. The Bank Nifty could be interesting because tomorrow's weekly expiry. Normally, moves happen on a Wednesday. The trending move, though, is only possible if you move about 25,900 or below 25,385. Till then, again, perhaps you just want to, today is a day you want to just observe the market and see how things move. Perhaps focus on individual stocks. There are a lot of result reactions today. Also, keep an eye on mid-caps. Yesterday, there was first sign of distribution after a big outperformance. Now, one day will not make a trend, but yesterday out of the top 10 traded stocks, 8 were in the red. That's one area that you would want to watch out for. Short point today, perhaps good time to take some profit and then see if the market's giving you another opportunity to enter at some point on a dip.
Okay, well, for now, the MSCI India index has outperformed emerging markets and Asia ex Japan quite a bit. I mean, this month itself, MSCI India is up 4%, while Asia ex Japan and emerging market index are up just about 0.5% to 1%. So there's been quite a bit of outperformance already. But let's take a look at what our wise experts have to say as we head into trade this morning. Harold van der Lind of HSBC says Asian equity valuations have contracted. Using regression analysis, he thinks Chinese equities offer deep value. India much less so. Herald says consensus expects Asian earnings growth of 12% in 2018, down from 15% at the end of June, and a margin improvement is also expected at a slower pace now. He says they are overweight on China, Thailand, Singapore and Hong Kong, and they like financials, energy, utilities and telecom stocks.
Okay, I guess it's a no-brainer on rupee, but still, money market views from Pramit Brahmabat of Veracity. He says, considering lower crude oil prices as well as positive domestic equity markets, the rupee will continue to inch northwards. He expects the spot USD INR pair to trade in a range of 72 to 72.50 for the day. Well, actually, the dollar index also has moved down from 97.5 to 97. So there's more than just one reason for the rupee to rise.
Okay, well, Dhaval Dalal of Edelweiss says a sharp fall in crude oil prices and improving growth inflation dynamics should result in the 10-year benchmark bond yield breaking below its 200-day moving average at 7.75% amid signs of an amicable resolution in the upcoming RBI board meeting. Reports of the US-China tariff negotiations are also positive for the global bond markets at the margin. Based on these, they remain bullish on bonds and expect the 10-year benchmark bond yield to drift towards 7.65% in the near term.
Okay, let's talk about the global cues then. Here's Mangalam with the world view.
Well, it was a wild, volatile day on Wall Street in yesterday's trading session. At one point, the Dow was up by about 100 points, then fell about 200 points from the highs. So the reason why the Dow moved higher was on account of the news that White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow confirmed reports of trade talks, a fresh round of trade talks between US and China. However, lower crude prices, lower demand outlook took the Dow lower. So Brent crude, which is now down to $66 per barrel, sub $66 per barrel, and is down about 25% from its recent high of $86 per barrel. This one on account of Trump urging the OPEC and Saudi Arabia to maintain their current policy of gradually increasing supplies rather than cutting them off. While the US was at the high point of the day, the European markets shut too on account of renewed trade talks. So all of them were at the high point of the day. The two big triggers for Europe, of course, the first one would be Brexit, where Theresa May has said the negotiations are reaching end game. That is something that the street will keep an eye out on. Secondly, for Italy, there are banks and private investors who suggest they will step in to boost the country's capital by about 400 million euros. Across that, in Asia, majority of the indices, all of the indices are now in the red. Most of them have moved lower from the morning highs. Nikkei and Kospi, case in point. And the SGX Nifty earlier indicated a start of about 50 points in the green, and that one now indicates a start of about 35 points in the green.
Okay. Well, we are still in the green, although a little less than maybe earlier in the day.